You see messengers on a microphone, or you see messengers on a stage, or you see them in this place that can be perceived as a platform. Though I always tell people, you're on stage when you're in a coffee shop with a friend. Like, you're on stage when you're in your car talking to your children. Like, you're on God's stage at every minute of every day. But where in our days are we humbling ourselves to come back into that strict posture of not having that lens or air of pride? And how does pride so sneak in? And it does. And so what are we doing to combat said pride? And this kind of all stemmed from a book that I'm reading that I got from Joel Muddamalle, who is the theologian on the team of Proverbs 31 Women with Lisa Turker. So anytime she writes a book, he is like her right hand in that process. Pun intended, because he's right-handed, but he's also writing. And it says, finding true security, strength, and confidence through humility. And the book is called The Hidden Peace, and not peace like a piece of a puzzle, but peace as in calm, storm, peace. And so I would love to just open, before I tell you kind of what I was processing, where do you guys practice and how do you practice the discipline, because I do believe it's a discipline of humility? Who wants to share? Or have you even considered this as a discipline? All right, I'm going to go into just a little bit of the book. And as you guys are coming in to think about it, hey, Chris, you want to share first?
I can share about that.
All right, let's go.
I had to get my phone out of my pocket. I'm walking into the office. So yeah, this is something that's been really significant for me because before I became a believer, like, I wanted the significance. I wanted the glory. You know, it's like in the personal development world, like, people are worshipped. You know, like, you go to a Tony Robbins event and it's like, you know, people freak out like he's God. And so in that world and coming from that world, like, I wanted that glory and the pride and all of that stuff. And then when I gave my life to Jesus, everything changed. And I realized, like, I had to be humble because I realized all of the wisdom that God gives me to give to other people comes from him. It's his wisdom. And for me to take glory for that, like, take the credit for that, I'd be robbing God of his glory. And so something that I've, like, taken on, like, in coaching calls or when I'm speaking or whatever, is just giving him the glory for everything that comes from him. Because I know when I'm speaking and I know when God is speaking. And when God is speaking, like, I just give him the glory, you know, and people say, oh, wow, you know, that's so good. That's so good. I'm like, no, that was God. I'm not that smart. I'm not that creative. Like, I'm not that nice of a person, whatever it is. Like, that all came from God. And what it's done for me is it's just, like, humbled my soul, where it's like, it keeps me in check of, like, hey, you know, that didn't come from you. That came from the Lord, and give him the glory, because we're called to do good things and give God the glory in heaven. And that's what we're here to do. And so that's been something that it's just given me, like, it just keeps that spirit of pride in check. Like, it just keeps it in its place, which is not running the show. And so that's something that I've just, like, taken on, of just verbally putting it out there. And, you know, someone might say, oh, wow, Chris, you know, you're such a nice person. I'm like, listen, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to jump off this call. Like, I didn't actually want to say that, but God made me do it. So I'm not that nice. That's just God.